Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now February 27th of 2022, and ever since the very end of the Book of Boba Fett and how fans are now preparing for the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, a lot of Star Wars fans have also been very excited about what's to come by George, John, and Dave for The Mandalorian Season 3 and other Star Wars TV shows that are currently in the pipeline by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So what's even all the more exciting right now is that, yes, we are getting very close to the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show trailer, which is all set and ready to debut by this March, so keep your eyes open for that. But we also have a lot of promotional stills that are going to be releasing for the show, as well as brand new posters that are all set and ready to drop by mid-March to actually promote the Kenobi series. So on top of all of this, we already know that Disney CEO Bob Chapek has been a very busy man behind the scenes, really kind of regulating the Star Wars universe, doing everything that he can to actually bring Star Wars back on track, to really kind of turn things around and bring it back to its roots, which of course is the vision of George Lucas. Now on top of all of this, what's even all the more exciting has everything to do with the fact of what George, John, and Dave are trying to do by mixing together both Star Wars Legends and Star Wars canon material under Disney, and exactly how they can really balance all of that out. Now, one thing is for certain is that we do know that everything ranging from, of course, shows like Mando Season 3 to the Ahsoka Tano series to Mando Season 4 and other shows that will be announced at Celebration are all going to be interconnected. In fact, they are going to have a lot of stories to be told in between all of those to really kind of advance everything moving forward. However, on top of all of this, what's even all the more exciting is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars TV shows such as Star Wars Ahsoka and others that will be unveiled at Celebration, John and Dave Filoni are working on new ways to model the CG version of Luke Skywalker in future Mando episodes after Season 3. Now, it's described, however, that Disney CEO Bob Chapek recently has been making some drastic changes behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm in order to regulate the franchise moving forward. Now, it's described that recently Bob Chapek finalized the plans to cancel the new Star Wars trilogy that was going to explore a brand new era in the Star Wars universe. This was a major project that was created by Lucasfilm's Kathleen that was going to focus on 3 major movies taking place in the middle of the High Republic era. Now, for a while now, Bob Chapek has been taking, of course, a lot of his time to actually cancel each and every movie under Kathleen Kennedy's wing and canceling them slowly while figuring out what to do with the slots that would be available with other Star Wars projects. However, as of now, that, of course, new projects are filling in those slots currently as we speak. Chapek, of course, decided to fully cancel Kathleen Kennedy's big initial project, that was the HR trilogy. Now, this trilogy was not only going to focus on a strict period of peace, where there would actually be no wars or conflicts, but that this new trilogy that Kathleen Kennedy greenlit back in 2019 was to also going to focus on natural disasters across the entire galaxy, as well as aspects from space that would pose as a great threat against the Jedi and their different worlds that they are settled on. So let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, in case you guys did not know, Kathleen Kennedy had a High Republic trilogy that was in the early development phase ever since 2019, and once she lost her creative power in early 2020, around Q1 of 2020, is when this new trilogy of movies were pretty much in a state of limbo. It wasn't canceled, it wasn't moving forward in any way, it was just there. It was kind of like in the same situation that the Rian Johnson trilogy was, and this is something that Kathleen Kennedy was really trying to embrace. Now, obviously, since Chapek has canceled all of this altogether and put an end to all of this, you can see as to why Chapek and the higher-ups over at Disney had really little to no confidence over these new Star Wars films. Number one is that it was going to focus away from wars, and number two, it was really going to actually embrace natural disasters in Star Wars movies. Obviously, I don't think that a lot of fans would have respected this. It really sounds out of place to me. It sounds like something that Rian Johnson would actually do, or something that Rian Johnson would embrace, and it makes a lot of sense because, yes, it was Kathleen Kennedy. But the thing about all of this is that at the end of the day, the Star Wars franchise, all right? Wars is actually in the title of the brand. You can't really shy away from that. You can't really take the aspect of conflict or wars away from the franchise. You just can't do it. So the fact that Kathleen Kennedy was really trying to embrace an era of peace where there were no villains per se, there were no Sith, no dark side users, no Nihil at all, which, by the way, are one of the enemies in the High Republic books. But that's something that Kathleen Kennedy was shying away from. Moving on. Now, Kennedy was approaching this trilogy to be a disaster series, essentially mixing in Star Wars with films such as Armageddon, Deep Impact, or 2012. Kennedy wanted to shift away from wars between the Jedi and the dark side users and/or Sith, and wanted to utilize something brand new that would have introduced characters such as of course Geode the Rock, that George Lucas did not actually approve of, and even a gigantic character that was going to be a large cloud with a conscience that would actually create risks against Jedi worlds. Now, Kennedy wanted to focus on natural events that would actually pose a risk to actually make the Jedi become extinct, instead of the Sith or in the prequels like how Palpatine drove them to near extinction. This is something that Bob Chapek never liked, and it is something that Bob Iger actually previously wanted to actually embrace. So obviously Bob Iger was all for this, the previous Disney CEO. Bob Chapek wanted nothing to do with this. Now, on top of all of that, right now Chapek is experimenting with the idea of introducing small-scale movies on Disney Plus, also that are in the Star Wars world. It's something that the Disney higher-ups are also very excited to take advantage of, to have more opportunities for the fans on the Disney Plus platform. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I think that Disney Plus should really strictly stay with Star Wars TV shows, and the movies should only go into theaters. Now, we have a lot of movies in the pipeline that are going to be placed into the movie theaters themselves. But what Disney is trying to utilize right now is experimenting with placing small-scale movies. Alright, basically having fewer locations, fewer characters, and fewer plot points, and throwing those on Disney Plus. Obviously, it sounds like low-budget Star Wars movies arriving to Disney Plus. And we heard about this before in the past, that Disney CEO Bob Iger at the time was thinking of doing Mandalorian movies for Disney Plus, and it kind of stopped at that point in late 2019, early 2020. We really didn't learn anything about that beyond that point. So it's a very interesting turn of events of how Chapek put an end to Kathleen Kennedy's HR trilogy fully, and how it's never going to see the light of day. Obviously, a lot of fans, don't like the High Republic era for multiple reasons, and we've gone over this many times. It really does take away the vision of George Lucas, the philosophy of Star Wars, and exactly what the Star Wars franchise really stands for, essentially. That's what they really are taking away from in the High Republic era. And I think it's one of the main reasons as to why the Acolyte TV series is not all that well respected already before a shred of footage has even surfaced. We already know that Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland are creatively involved, so that's another big red flag. Obviously, it's not going to be as successful as The Mandalorian in my book, or even, of course, the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series. It just doesn't have the hype that it needs. So, overall, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again, no hiding on the one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.